Morning. Must be morning somewhere. It is now afternoon in Pacific Coast time in California. Our word of the day is auteur. Auteur is our word of the day. A filmmaker whose personal influence and artistic control or a movie are so great that the filmmaker is regarded as author of the movie. That is auteur. So on to our heat map. Here's a look at our heat map. Some of the leaders of last week have pulled back a little bit, and some of the leaders who had pulled back last week are moving on up today. So that is a story. Our ETF of the day, we'll take a look at a little bit, our IPO of the day, and our stock of the day. So that is the story. If you're concerned at all about a hard landing, some people have been calling for a 32% retracement of the markets in 2025. You might think of moving some of your money into an account like this. Goes up with the market, goes up with the market, does not come down with the market. Beats index investing by about 5% per year is now offering 25 to 45% bonuses. So if you want to learn more about that, feel free to reach out to me. So that is the story there. And let us go over to our dollar index. Dollar is bouncing up a little bit today, up 0.17%. Silver is retracing, filling the gap, so to speak, down 1.23%. Gold is doing the same. Copper as well, pulling back a little bit. Take a look at a few of our top copper. Yeah, we got to fill the gap definitely on tech. Arrow, another copper miner, pull back a little bit stronger. Southern Copper, slight pullback, not doing too much wrong. And Freeport McMoran, about the same, bouncing off of its 50-day moving average. So that is the story there. Let's take a look at our bond yields. 10-year bond yield is down, pretty flat from Friday, down 3 cents. 20-year bond yield is down 9 cents at 3.36%. So on to the VIX, or volatility index. It is pretty low. It is falling about 11 cents down 0.88%. And let's look at the S&P 500. Up slightly. The equal weight in the S&P is up 0.2%. The NASDAQ is up 0.24%. The equal weight is down 0.04%. The small caps had a little bit of a bounce. With the yields down low, we were wondering why it didn't bounce last week, but it does bounce today, up 0.7%. And the Dow Jones tried to move higher and stayed pretty flat for the day. On to our news of the day. Chinese automaker will acquire a 20% stake in its Thai official distributor, Rever Automotive, after opening its first manufacturing plant in the Southeast Asian market. So there we go. Vista Outdoor, VSTO is a ticker symbol, said its board has unanimously voted to reject the $42 a share price offer from MNC Capital in favor of a competing bid with Czechoslovakian group AS for its Kinetic Group business. CSG seeking to buy the company's Kinetic Group business for $2.1 billion, while MNC is seeking to buy the whole company for $3.2 billion, the company said. The company said the CSG offer is $7 to $16 more value to shareholders on the MNC final offer. So onto energy, industrials, and materials. Boeing agreed to plead guilty to criminal fraud conspiracy charge and pay a fine of $243.6 million to resolve the U.S. Justice Department investigation into two 737 MAX fatal crashes. And their stock is up 0.55% on that news. Canadian National downgraded to market perform from outperform at Bernstein, and it is falling 1% on that news. CSX downgraded to neutral from buy at Bank of America, and they're actually up slightly on that news. Fortive upgraded to buy from hold at TD Cowen. See if we can get Fortive. There we go, FTV. They did not give us a ticker symbol. And they are gapping up on that news at what, 1.5%. TD Cowen upgraded Fortive to buy from hold, target of $90 from $75. And Hurricane Beryl made landfall on Texas coast, bringing heavy rains and life-threatening storm surge after churning across the Caribbean Sea and Gulf of Mexico. In futures, West Texas Intermediate edged lower by 1% after touching a 2-month high last week. On to healthcare, Abbott is expected to face a trial on Monday over claims that its formula for preterm infants used as neonatal intensive care units causes a potential deadly bowel disease, second trial out of hundreds of similar lawsuits in the United States. So Abbott has some road to drive right there. Eli Lilly to acquire Morphic Holding. Eli Lilly is up 0.38% on the news. And they're buying Morphic for a price of $57 a share. You can see a big jump in Morphic, up 75%. Grifols shares up 25% following the news that Grifols family and Canadian fund Brookfield have agreed to launch a joint takeover bid for a Spanish drug maker with the intent to delist it. The company said in regulatory filings on Monday. And Grifols is up a little over 19%, not as much as the 25% that was before the market opened. Idea Biosciences said that it has received positive results in the second phase of its monotherapy expansion dose to treat certain cancers, and they are up about 15% on that news. RCM shares rose Friday on a report. TCP-ASC said it's in the process finalizing a proposal to acquire all the outstanding RCM shares that it doesn't already own at a higher price than a proposal described in an earlier standstill waiver requested by Hoy Company. And we got a gap up of about 15% there as well. Private insurers involved in Medicare Advantage program such as United Health and Humana made hundreds of thousands of questionable diagnoses trigger taxpayer-funded payments between 2018 and 2021, making outright incorrect diagnosis, says a Wall Street Journal. And that's United Health. Take a look at Humana. They're up slightly, 0.44%. On to technology, media, and telecom. ServiceNow downgraded, and they're off about 5% today with a 640 price target, saying while the company's Q2 report on July 24 will be fine, the second half of 2024 presents risk to consensus subscription estimates. And they're down to 766. That'd be quite a fall to 640 for their price target. Skydance Media and Paramount announced that they have entered into a definitive agreement to form New Paramount through a 2-step transaction, including the acquisition of National Amusements, or NAI, which holds a controlling share stake in Paramount, and subsequently a merger of Skydance and Paramount Global. And it looks like they may be getting close to filling this gap here, down a little over 5%. Finally, Apple, the Apple Watch Series 10 will be thinner and have bigger screens. Bloomberg reports, in addition, says Apple's big Siri upgrade should arrive next spring as a part of the iOS 18.4 with a developer beta in January 2025, and Apple continues rising on that news. So that is the story on our news for the day. Let's go over to our daily routine, see what's up. 5% on 50%, actually 100% increase in volume. American Semiconductor. Looks like it's breaking out of a channel here. And it is up almost 10% on the day. Before we go any further, we'll look at our ETF of the day, which is semiconductors, up 1.66%. Taiwan Semiconductor was their stock of the day, up 1.43%. I'm moving the markets with that information. And our IPO of the day, I believe, was PAX. Healthcare up 1.79%. So as we continue on, we've got 10 items. Anavis's Bio up almost 40%. Novel treatment for Alzheimer and Parkinson's. BLT, which was our breakout stock last year when it was at 22. So it's now gone up from 22, almost got up to a high of 50. Pull back to the 50-day moving average, and it looks like it's trying to do another breakout here. Corning up close to 12%. So earnings aren't for another 22 days. We looked at Idea Sciences in our news. Lexeo Therapeutics is up a little over 5%. Morphic, which was in the news. Pulse Biosciences up 28%, almost 29%. Soho and ADR, Chinese portal offering media content, wireless and web research. And finally, Solar Edge Technologies up almost 10%. Can't really see it here on the chart as being blocked by the EPS. So we'll just take a look here. We can see the big move on our 1-minute chart. And it did pull back a little bit towards the end of the day. Well, what did we do today? We added a few different things today, just targeting some things, see if they're going to work out with some options. And let's see, I'm trying to pull up the chart here, but it doesn't want to let me pull it up. I'm going to try it with another way here. So let me just pull this up. We added to Apollo and a little bit of pullback here to the 50-day moving average. Let's see if that's a wise move or not. We put in an option play at around 33, 34 on front door. Put an option on Archer. It just continues moving on the right side of the base here. Now let's see some of our other strategies that we got going. IoT hit a little bit of a pullback, not doing too bad. It's still up 330% on our options. App, pull back a little bit. Thought this could happen. I'm forming a cup with a handle here. See if it'll get some volume and break out. It did had a downside reversal towards the end of the day on Friday, which could be troubling, but it's just pulling back to the 10-day moving average. See if it pulls back further to the 20-day. Datadog pulling back a little bit. We felt like this could have happened as well. Cup with a handle formation. So we'll see if it pulls back to the 10 or 20-day moving average. And Kava in the training grill. Even though it lost money on the share, we made money since we have the $100 covered call option going on Kava. Shift for payments is up slightly, up 0.25% on 18-cent share price increase. Tried to go higher and then pull back towards the end of the day. We did put an option play on Intel. So it's a big move. Got this big move here on Friday. Continuation today. Let's see if that works out. We did sell a small portion of our Tesla holdings as it went above 250 here. CrowdStrike, we continue to hold. It's building a pretty tight area right in here. That's positive action. And take a look at the volume. The volume's kind of muted. ARM did nothing with ARM, but ARM is just continuing kind of on its breakout, up at close to 2% today. Elf Beauty got a little bit of a bounce today off of the 10-day moving average, up 1.42%. Not really doing anything there. We got the covered call options at 227.50. We got a spelling here. Dutch Brothers continues its strong action. Bought this at 34.50 and 36. So it's continuing to do well there. And finally, on NVIDIA. Got a little balance of NVIDIA and kind of turned tail towards the end of the day. But that is a wrap on how everything looks. Oh, forgot to look at BitX as we got a little bit of bounce in Bitcoin. We can go to that screen, had it saved here. So Bitcoin had pulled back to pretty close to 54,000, recovered some, and we'll just see if this is a true bounce where it's going to take off. So that is the story today for Mornings with Michael. Hope everybody has a great start to the week. Continue going after your goals, supported with good activities, and if we can help you with any of your financial goals, feel free to reach out to us. In the meantime, keep going after your goals.